What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another online Switch Sports Golf video. Today we land in a pretty decent lobby. There's one other S player, he's at S2. The rest are A players, one B player. We are starting off on hole 17. I'm expecting this to be a pretty competitive match. I'm currently halfway through S6 and I'm looking to make a push into S7 pretty soon. So I am going to try to gain some rank this video.
Nice shot.
And for hole 17, that is a pretty good approach. I went just under full power on the driver. The wind carried me a little bit more than I thought, but it's not a big deal because we should be sinking birdie here. And that's a pretty good way to start off the match, 10 points on hole 17. Now, birdies on hole 17 are a lot more uncommon than birdies on other par 3s, but today with fairly minimal wind, there are 5 birdies, tied for first place as we move on to hole 18, with wind that is preventing us from going to the left island, so I am going to have to go this way this time.
Nice shot.
And we'll definitely be able to secure the birdie with this wind. Eagle is going to be a little bit harder because driving onto the green from here, you have to be more precise, a little bit more difficult than chipping onto the green from the left island. But I do think full power is going to be too much, so I'll just go a little bit under.
Nice shot.
Ooh, and that was a pretty good approach right there. 1.6 feet away from the albatross. Too bad we couldn't have stolen those 18 points, but eagle, 14 points, nothing to complain about.
Great eagle.
And it looks like there were 3 eagles there. So on 24 points right now, great score to be going into the semifinals with. Still tied for first, however. Moving on to hole 7. Doesn't look like there's too tricky wind right now. Only 9 miles an hour. Tailwind is going to make it a little bit more tricky, which I'll explain why when we get to stroke 2. Now from here, we are going to have a lot of momentum landing on the green. So our ball is probably going to roll quite a bit, which is why the tailwind is a little bit annoying. But I think just over 3.5 should be good. I'll add some backspin. Hopefully that'll at least slow me down when I hit the green.
Nice shot.
So it did stop me there. I do wonder if I hadn't gone backspin, would I have kept rolling off of the green? Doesn't really matter though. A pretty decent approach for hole 7. And that's a pretty nice putt. Another 10 points added to our score. And it looks like Jig, who was tied for first, had a bit of an unfortunate hole. I'm not sure what happened there. I wasn't really paying attention. But I'm not going to complain because I have extended my lead. 34 points on the 4th hole. More notably, I think it was a 6-point lead that we have. So a little bit of wiggle room here as we move on to the final 2 holes.
Nice shot.
Some room for error here on the last 2 holes because I've built up a little bit of a cushion. Obviously, I'm not going to try to take that. I'm going to try to continue playing well. But it's nice to have just in case. Not very favorable wind here. But I was able to curve that pretty nicely. If I hadn't curved that, the wind would have pushed me probably into the rough on the right-hand side. So got some good curve there. chipping from the fairway, although still not an easy chip. And to be honest, I don't know if 3-iron is going to be enough. We are uphill from the hole, but there is a headwind. To use this spoon, though, it would also be pretty hard to predict. So I'll probably just take my chances with the 3-iron because at least I know I'll land on the green and have a chance to putt for a birdie. If I spoon, I might be able to get closer, but it's also more of a risk that I don't land on the green.
Nice shot.
And it's actually not too bad in terms of power.
Nice on.
If I had adjusted better for the wind, I would have had a pretty good approach there. So it looks like 3-iron was enough, and I'm now left with a pretty tricky putt. But hey, I synced that pretty nicely. A very nice putt, and a good 10 points added to our score. And no other birdies there, so we extend our lead once again. We have a 10-point lead going into the final hole. And on hole 13 here, this game is pretty much a lock. Hopefully it's a decent amount of rank because there was another S player and most of the other players were A.
Final round.
Only 4-mile-an-hour wind here, so probably a pretty easy birdie. Let's see if we can secure a nice 54-point performance here.
Nice shot.
Hole-in-one isn't off the table. But yeah, I was always ambitious.
Nice on.
So 9 feet away. We'll sink the birdie putt here.
Nice birdie.
And there you have it, 54-44. Very comfortable win for the first match of the video.
Finish.
Let's see how much rank I get before jumping into the next game. Yeah, it was okay, not so much, but I'll see you in game number 2. Now, obviously, the higher rank you get, the less elo you'll earn per win, but it's hard to find high-rated opponents when you're playing online. I would say like 90% of my opponents are A rank or below, so it's a little bit unfortunate.
Round
Getting to infinity rank, definitely a grind. This lobby, we have an S2 and an S0. We're also starting off on hole 17 once again. There is a lot stronger wind this time though. I'm going to have to go spoon less than full power.
Nice shot.
That was not a good approach by any means, but even landing on the rough there, we still rolled quite a bit, so I didn't want to give it too much power because I would have rolled past the green, but it's not a big deal. Let's see if we can make something out of the chip here. We almost do. Just slip out of the chip and eagle, or the birdie, but I think most people are going to get par here. So missing the birdie, it shouldn't be detrimental
Nice par.
to the outcome of the game. And yeah, a par there was fine because we're still tied for first with 6 other players. So the fact that we got 7 points doesn't really matter because everybody else is all tied. So the score technically doesn't matter at the moment. Once again, we find hole 18. This is like the 3rd video recently that this has happened where I've gotten the same 2 holes in the exact same order of first hole and second hole of the game. Some people were doing the math. I think it was settled around like 3 or 4% chance that this happens, where you get the same 2 holes in the same order at 1 and 2 in 2 games in a row, if that all makes sense.
Nice shot.
But it's happened like 3 or 4 times now in the past couple weeks. I have no idea if the RNG changed when Nintendo updated the game last, but doesn't really matter. We're just trying to play some golf here on whatever holes we get. And from here, I am tempted to go for the shot. I think if I leave my aim stick here, the wind's gonna push me and I'm gonna land over here, where the island is actually closer to me. So that might be the play here. Although maybe I just send it, try to get on the green.
Nice shot.
It was pretty decent. I think that was the closest we could have got because I went full power. But still pretty close, and we're not in the water, so that's pretty good. And I do want to putt this. Ooh, and that was a really nice roll
Birdie eagle.
right into the hole. A fairway putt to secure eagle. And this time we were the only one to eagle that hole. So we do take a pretty commanding 4-point lead going into the semifinals on 21 points nonetheless. Getting hole 4 with what looks like not too much wind. So definitely want to maintain my lead here. With this wind, I'll probably just go full power with the 5-iron with backspin. I just need to make sure to get the wind right. When I land, I'm probably going to bounce to the right as well, so I'll adjust a little bit more than I think is necessary.
Nice shot.
I actually didn't get the bounce at all that I thought, nor did I get the backspin. So a bad chip all around. Good news is I have a 4-point lead, so if I par this and other people birdie, I will maintain the lead. And a really poor putt there. All around, not a good hole, but still in the lead, so I'm just going to forget about that. Focus on the next hole. And there it is, still a 1-point lead. So on 28 after 3 holes. We have 2 holes left. I do think I can maintain a lead here. I just have to focus up, cannot play like I did in hole 4. However, hole 6, not the easiest hole in the world. So the game is definitely heating up here. Although with this wind, I should be able to get a birdie here. I'm just going to full send this, try to get close enough to chip onto the green, and far enough that I am out of the way of tree obstruction.
Nice shot.
And this is a pretty good lie. Should be able to chip right onto the green from here. Now the only thing now is calculating how much power, because I'm uphill and there's a tailwind, a very strong one at that. Thinking 3 dots with the 7-iron here. Okay, so power-wise, not too bad. Really poor wind adjustment though. I did think it would carry me a lot more to the left. This is a pretty crucial putt here. Ooh.
Nice par.
I am throwing this game out the window at the moment. Giving up my 4-point lead down to a 2-point deficit. So I've allowed Wookie to gain 6 points on me in the last 2 holes. Very, very bad performance. Let's see what the finals hold for us. We get hole 9 with pretty strong wind.
Nice shot.
So really my only chance here is a birdie by me and a par by the guy in first. Obviously a chip-in eagle is the best case scenario, but it will be hard with this wind. And got slowed a little bit by the tree there. Can still chip from here though. And from this case, I think full power with the 3-iron with backspin, probably the move. Wind, not going to be easy though.
Nice shot.
You know, not a bad chip.
Nice on.
Only 12 feet away with that wind and from that distance. Not an easy putt though. And I definitely have to clutch this one up if I want to win. Already messed up some putts this game. Cannot make that mistake again. Wookie just got the par. So this putt is either make and win or miss and lose. And there it is.
Nice birdie.
A birdie. I think that's 45 points for the win. A poor performance altogether, but I clutched up where I needed to secure the win. Whether it's a 1-point gap or a 10-point gap, a win is a win. That will be some more elo. Just a tad bit there. Two drastically different games, but with the same outcome. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video.